Now, the Qatar sponsored Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, of course, is the feature race over the weekend. And the draw is often crucial, although whether on slightly better ground it will have quite the same effect, only time will tell. Basically, the short of it all as they drew the horses out the old bag this morning was Hukum. Was hopeless out in 14, you'd imagine, although that horse will get dropped in anyway, so I don't think it's the end of the world. Westover in 1. I'm not sure I'd want to be in stall 1 as well, really, Laurent.
With a horse like this one, what are they going to do? You'd be tempted to go forward and use his cruising speed.
They can try to settle Westover. They won't want to light him up from the inside. Feed the flames like a giraffe, usually in the early stages as well. He'll be out the back.
He'll be taken right at the back, like Ace Impact and like a few others. And
there's not a lot of pace on the inside.
It's very difficult to find a pace angle in this contest. I can only see Westover, which is already very challenging. Otherwise, there's no front runner in this contest here. And Westover, if he gets dropped and stuck behind, if there is no pace, it's not going to serve him.
It's weird that we haven't ended up with a pacemaker, considering they ran a pacemaker for Feed the Flame in the trial.
Yeah.
But there's no pacemaker ended up in this.
No.
And Aidan O'Brien only has one runner, so they don't even have the usual Coolmore pace on. I mean, you'd think Continuous has got to be up there, hasn't he? I mean, he's not going to win this coming from last to first, is he?
Definitely not. Same for Westover.
And Westover, Hukum's not going to be too far away, although he does usually close. Baybridge just going to be ridden like a normal horse. Ace Impact, we're presuming, will be out the back somewhere.
Yeah.
Ridden like Dancing Brave, I suspect. He'll be powering down the middle of the track. Hukum at 5, Continuous at 6, Westover at 7, Feed the Flame 10, Fantastic Moon at 14, Baybridge 14 through 7 Seas. It could be 140 for me. 3 Wind 20, Sim Camille 25 to 1. It's a wide open arc. I guess the obvious place to start is with a horse called Ace Impact. I wasn't particularly taken with this win, Laurent, but I was taken with the win of the Prix de Jockey Club. I mean, if there is an absolute monster in this race, this is the horse.
Yes, definitely. This is I'll put it, in a way, this is a French comeback run, Matt. These horses are 80% when they go back in action. It was probably a little bit more than that, but still, he came from again, a very far back position. He did not beat any superstar, but he beat some very decent horses that day. He was coming back after the 2 months off, and it's probably the trickiest race to run, the one after the big one.
Okay. Well, he can't win for me on that piece of form, but on this piece of form,
yes.
Everything suggests in the run that he's going to love going up in trip. It was a strange race, wasn't it, though, because Big Rock turned it almost into a sort of mile race.
Yeah.
And he was the one who had that pace to close. But this was ultra impressive.
It was very impressive, because if you take Ace Impact out of the race, you would have think Big Rock, what a winner of the Prix de Jockey Club. But then, Ace Impact makes him look very ordinary at the end. There was pace, there was everything. The fraction are just incredible. He broke the record of the race on this occasion. Everything is there. It's better than Vadeni, it's better than St. Mark Basilica so far on this race.
And we can't see any massive pace in this race from the point of view of pacemakers, etc. Through 7 Seas might go forward, I suspect. But on that basis, that turn of foot of Ace Impact could be a very potent weapon, couldn't it?
It would be, especially on the ground, like it's going to be expected to be. It would be, I think, a very similar ground to the one he had at Chantilly in the summer. And if he's back to where he was in June, where he looked fantastic, he looks an absolute freak, I have to say. What he did at Chantilly was exceptional, even physically. I mean, the horse got everything. And we're going to see if he's that exceptional horse of the year, or was it just, a spring horse. But so far so good. He's been working well towards the arc, and Jean-Claude Roger seems to be very confident. He's not the only confident trainer in the race, but he's very confident.
Let's have a look at the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth stakes at Ascot. Hukum sees off Westover here. There were a load of absolute flops in this race, though. But take nothing away from these two. Hukum had beaten Desert Crown when Desert Crown ran the race of his life at Sandown. It just looks all quite slow. I don't know what you think, Laurent.
I would not say slow, but these races are run, differently as well. Different race course. They go well clear from the rest. That's what I see. That's the conclusion. The two horses well clear from the rest, and very tough horses. But they just have, especially Hukum, this very specific, unusual profile going into the arc. For me, it's difficult to see him as an arc winner. He could be, and I wish the connection to win the arc, but on this profile, it's hard to think you're going to go into the arc and win.
If it was heavy, I'd really fancy Hukum. But just on this slightly drying ground, I just worry there won't be something faster.
Yeah, something faster.
Although he ran fast, of course, at Sandown when beating Desert Crown. Continuous.
Yeah.
Aidan O'Brien, 3-year-old's shocking record in the arc, as we know. But this horse, who was miles behind, it was dropping out the TV screen behind Ace Impact in the Prix de Jockey Club. But there's no doubt he's come of age in his last two starts. And this is pretty solid form going into the Ledger, Laurent.
Yes.
But we've already established from our conversations often, you don't like horses running at the Ledger meeting and then coming to big races this weekend particularly.
No, he may be the first one to win, to achieve the double, but it's been just mission impossible. Going back to Nijinsky at the time, who was the horse of the year, really dominant. Nice horse, has progressed very nicely, but I don't think once again is the profile to go and win the arc. He was well held in the Prix Jockey Club, probably a race to leave behind, but then again, a race as hard as that, even if he won Cosily, it was a very hard race on a long straight at Doncaster. 2 weeks later, going in to go and win the arc, it would be some serious achievement.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, I think, for Continuous, but he's improving so fast. Who's to say? Let's have a look at Fantastic Moon, who beat off, of course, Feed the Flame in the Niel. Pacemaker for Feed the Flame this day, and they basically ignored it, and Fantastic Moon got first run. And Feed the Flame plodded on. The question is, can Feed the Flame improve enough past Fantastic Moon, or is this form to be taken at face value? Third's quite close as well.
Yeah, the third Brave finished really well. He was the fastest over the last 3 furlong, Brave, then Feed the Flame, then Fantastic Moon. But I think, yes, this race, the Prix Niel, was more like a target for Fantastic Moon, who had other plans later in the season than going for the arc. It was a comeback run again. He's a French-trained horse, Feed the Flame. It was a comeback run. He carried a lot of condition that day, and he will improve, I think, massively from the run.
Yeah. Fantastic Moon has been beaten on heavy and soft, but any time Fantastic Moon's on good to soft or better, he's won. Yeah. He might be better suited by the surface than
that's why he's there. Yeah,
Feed the Flame.
Definitely. Feed the Flame would have been a far more serious contender. I think a bigger rival to Ace Impact if there had been a bit of a cut in the ground. But on this ground, I think even Pascal Barry doesn't feel as confident now.
And Bay Bridge was a 25 to 1 shot last week. He's now 14. Champion Stakes winner.
You tell me.
I mean, I think he's got an each-way chance.
Each way,
he's a Group 1 horse.
Each way. But then again, this profile, if he happened to win the arc, horse that has never raced over a mile and a half like this, an older horse.
He ran a mile and a half on the all-weather last time. First time.
Yeah, it's on the all-weather. Kempton, different configuration, I would say. But why not each way? More like an each-way horse. You can't write him off. It's Sir Michael Sturt. You can't write him off. But
he was second to Luxembourg in the Tattersall's Gold Cup, and Luxembourg is well held by Westover and Hukum and King George running. Luxembourg probably doesn't stay, but when you put him in the mix, he's kind of a first 5-horse Bay Bridge, isn't he, rather than a probable winner, I guess.
But lack of all the other horses in the race, and mostly the English trained here, they're all vulnerable to a good trio, a real good trio.
Your winner of the arc, Laurent, is?
Ace Impact.
Ace Impact, just to prove far too good and use that kick. He could be one of those horses that afterwards you're thinking, how did we let that go off at 3 to 1, 100 to 30?